Hi everyone, welcome back into the Academy. It's lovely to have you along for another video. My name is Warren Bennett. We've got a tired Trev running around somewhere, so if you hear any heavy breathing, it's not me, I can assure you. We've had quite a lot of new golfers coming into the Academy this week, and it is on that theme of what I think is one of the most important things you can give to a beginner golfer, and also not just a beginner golfer, with someone who has restrictions with their swing or with their body when they play golf. So this is a great one that I see one of the biggest faults for someone who is actually starting golf, but at the same time for someone who would like to hit the ball further and generate more speed and more consistency of strike as well. So I'm going to show you what's probably going to be quite an extreme move. Remember, restrictions. So I've got a restricted back. So if I had that for the rest of my life, what am I going to do? One thing, remember what we always say and what I always mention in any of the videos is legs, body, arms and hands. Generally they're the three main body types. Now we're trying to blend all those cogs. Now obviously at the moment I've got a restriction in my back, so I can't move my body as well as I would like. But that doesn't stop me creating speed in my golf swing, because I can now generate speed because I've still got my arms, and I can hit golf balls pretty consistently, not because I'm a professional, because I'm learning to swing the club more efficiently with my arms. Now you might turn around and go, yes, you're a professional, Warren. It's not, because what we changed our beginners this week is we have a tendency as a human being to create more power, and what we think in golf, more power is body. The best way to do that is power with our body. That's not correct, because I would rather people who have a struggle with speed, trouble with distance, beginners, to swing more of a percentage of their arms instead of their body. So arms relatively straight, no tension, but they're relatively straight as you can see. I'm keeping my left arm relatively straight but bending my right. Then from here, because I can create power from there by straightening back into impact. Now what I saw a lot of these beginners, if not all of these beginners, and a lot of people who have struggled with speed, is this. They do the same backswing, let's say they do the same backswing as what I've just shown you. As they come down here, they lift and bend their arms too early. So they're keeping their head down, but they're bending their arms. That's why I've got this camera out in front of us here. So you can see that, what's called a chicken wing. So from here, they're lifting and they top. Now you can say, this is why keeping your head still is one of the best and worst things you can say to someone, is because they can say, well, I kept my head still, but I topped it. Because what they're doing is they're lifting, not with their head, which sometimes obviously happens quite a lot, but they're lifting with their arms. They're not throwing their arms down into the ball where they started. So what I'd like you to do is this exercise. Now, got to be careful because I'm a little bit sore at the end of the day, so I'm going to put a tee in the ground. Start off with the tee. So there's no element to try and hit the ball too hard, because there is no golf ball down there. So nice narrow stance, nothing too funky. Club behind, make sure your grip's good. That allows us to get the club behind our back. Hinging is to be able to get the club behind our back, produced by a bending of the right arm. Left arm stays relatively straight. Remember, we're not just doing this. We're introducing some movement, club behind, and we're bringing the club down into that tee. So my arm goes from bent, and it continuously straightens from that top of the backswing position. Remember, this isn't for elite golfers. This is for someone who wants to try and create some consistency of strike. And that's the important thing, people, is the consistency of strike if you're beginning or wanting to create some speed. Because remember, if I did this under speed, watch. Bent, straight, bent. Show you again. Bent, straight, bent. Now if I did that quickly, bent, straight, bent. Bang, bang, bang. That's one exercise you can do with a tee. You can stand there, and what John Jacobs used to say is clip the tops of the daisies. Clip the tops of the daisies. So you're getting some consistency of where the club goes. So I'm going to show you in slow motion on the other side of the screen these swings I'm doing now. Slow motion, bent, straight, bent. Don't move your head, bent, straight, bent. So if I was in a cast and I couldn't move, or had severe arthritis, which I do have some people with severe arthritis in through the academy, this is how you generate speed and continue to play golf. Now obviously that is extreme. I haven't moved my body. I've probably moved my body 5%, which I get is not correct. But remember, we are practicing the arms, legs, body, arms and hands. Remember, a lot of people who struggle, especially with speed and consistency, do too much with their body. And even Trev hated that, so he's run after it. So I'd like you, remember, not because I'm a professional, it's because all I'm doing is keeping very still with my head. I'm keeping my left arm relatively straight, bending my right, then straight back into impact with both arms, and then bending again. Head still, bending my right, straighten, bend again. Practice, people. Practice that all the time. You can do it without a club, because if you lift, you're going to top it. The biggest thing, everyone, this lesson is to be able to have your arm swing more efficient. The more efficient you can have your arm swing, the better your results. So the second phase of this exercise is what I just did there. So it's straight arms at the start, bend your right arm, straighten, bend your left arm or both, bend, hit, bend. If I introduce a little bit of twist, now we're looking like a golf swing. So that's the secret, everyone, and what I call the internals. You sort the internals out. Down here, straight back into impact. Remember, you're trying to deliver this club under speed back into impact with strike. Pew! The only way to get strike is deliver this club where it started and then through. Now if you introduce a bit of twisting to that, now if you're not ready to do that, don't go on to phase 2. This is kind of phase 2. Remember, we're going to do a little bit of twisting now, so it's the same result. Don't twist too early. You're bringing these arms straight, bent, straight, bent, straight. Remember to keep watching the video on the other side of the screen. This is going to be the same. Now that looks different, but the internals were the same. Now all I introduced was a bit of a twisting and a bit of lifting with my leg. Remember the 3 elements, all these cogs are trying to join up together, but you can't see it at speed. Looks like I'm doing a lot of body motion there, but my internals are arms into impact and then through. We're not moving our body too early. No speed down there when you do that, but from the naked eye, without slow motion or whatever, it looks like a professional's using their body a lot, and obviously they're coiling, creating power, but from the internals, which I call hip height to hip height, before and after the ball, they are releasing their body down and through, obviously, as well as coiling and turning as well. But remember, if you're a beginner or if you have struggle with speed, power, you're probably over moving your big body, your big muscles. And we're always told in the day, weren't we? I was anyway, hit it with your big muscles, which is great, I get, but I'd rather hit it with the small ones, which create the speed and power and strike. So next time you go to the range, give this a go. Start off with phase 1, bend down into impact. You're not moving anything, especially your head. Down, through, down. Obviously not correct, it's extreme, but you can play golf. Down, straighten. And I'm going to put the slow motion swings up so you can see the actual movement of my arms and what I'm doing, because I'm doing 90% arms, 0% legs, 5% body, because it's getting pulled for the ride. Phase 1 is just that. See the consistency of strike, not because I'm a pro, obviously, because I've learned it and practiced it. And now phase 2, you're going to do the same thing. You're not going to move too early. You're going to release your arms into impact, and then you're going to turn through just for a bit of momentum. trust me everyone, if you're having trouble with speed and power, and if you're wanting to start the game, that's a great base to start with, because less moving parts and having your arms swing more efficiently, because remember we're golf swinging here, we're not golf hitting. The more you can do that, the more efficient, more consistent, more fun, because you'll be better at it. And that's the same with every club, by the way. There's obviously changes in driver, but if you're beginning, don't hit a driver straight away. I know that's tempting, but practice, even practice off a tee, practice without a ball, practice just hitting a tee. Remember, there's loads of moving parts in a golf swing, but the main one you want to have more efficient in your arms, because that's going to create the speed for you. So lovely to have you along for another video. If you'd like any more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. Love to have you along. And from myself and Trev, who's making an appearance, I don't know if you can see him in there in the corner. Anyway, from myself and the furry one, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me, and cheerio. Bye bye.